In today's equity index futures markets, let's take a look at the S&P 500 future as we close out the week, as we're continuing to see this uptrend persist within the S&P 500 futures and most of the other major equity index futures markets as well. Today, we're seeing the S&P 500 future up about 0.75%, currently around 36.91. And with today's price action, the 36.91 level is a new closing high, a new all-time closing high for the S&P 500 futures. So again, maintaining this upward trajectory. And when you look at some of the factors playing in today's price action, I think really you look at the global markets overnight, there was some strength there overnight. We continue to see strength out of Asia. Then it moved into Europe. And so I think that was one of the reasons why we did realize this upward trajectory today. But couple that with some of the data points this morning. I know the non-farm payrolls headline number was a little disappointing. But really, when you dig into the numbers, I think there was some encouraging things in there. And I think the market certainly didn't react too negatively to that. We did see a little bit of a downdraft initially on the announcement, but then ultimately renewed strength pretty quickly after that. And then the futures had already been trading higher as we moved into the morning session. So this upward trend continues with the idea of the stimulus measures continuing to unfold, and does appear that there's a potential for something to get done before the end of the year. And I think that's really the primary driver why we're seeing, again, this continued trend higher. And when you look at some of the general trends within the market structure, it is very interesting now today with the S&P futures higher. Basically, this is the third all-time high close for the S&P 500 futures this week. But also we're seeing, again, renewed strength in the Dow futures and the NASDAQ futures. But the big outperformer today was the Russell futures, up about 2.35%. So outpacing the other major futures markets by almost 3-1, where we did see most of those futures markets up anywhere from 50 basis points to 80 basis points. But we did see, again, the Russell futures up 2.35% or 235 basis points for the day.